Hello, this is Mr. Evilcheese.
And I'm in the bucket.
And this is our review of the Boxory magnetic display case. The one that I got is the wide. There's like a smaller size, there's medium, an extra large size. Yeah, mine is the wide. Okay, so there are the pieces taken out that are still on the trays. Got 3 big trays here. There's a few smaller trays, and we got the pieces for them laying back here. Got the LED strips in this package, and then the acrylic see-through plates, or whatever you call them, there. So, we're gonna put them together. There's directions provided in the box, but Boxory contacted me and said that there are updated directions and provided me a link to them on the site. So I used those instead, and they worked. One of the main things this is being advertised to do is the case basically snaps together with magnets and just little tabs. Kind of pops into place instead of using drills and screws and glue and all that. You don't got to do any of that kind of stuff. It just snaps together. So that's cool. Each end is marked, so you just got to look at directions and make sure you're putting the correct pieces in the correct spots. The acrylic plate, you just kind of slide into all these little grooves. It's not too hard, really. The LED light, you gotta feed the end of the light through the outside of the slot, and then wrap it around so you know where it's gonna lay, and then peel the backing off. And I mean, it's kind of self-explanatory. One thing that's kind of weird about this is when not all the sides are snapped together, it feels really flimsy. But once you get it all together, snapped in place like it should be, it's very sturdy. The only rocking it's doing is simply because my table is uneven because of it's plastic folding tables. Everything kind of doesn't sit evenly on there, but it feels really sturdy once it's all snapped together. Mine came with the blue light. I know you can also get a warm light, or on the site there's a color changing light that you could buy with remote control. I might check Walmart and see what lights they have. I am having an issue with little hairs getting attracted to it. I don't know if that'll, over time, that might stop being so staticky, but right now it's kind of staticky. I was using this microfiber cloth to wipe some of that off of there. Okay, on the background, see up in the corners there's that little hole. And you can put these little tabs in there. If you have a background, print out a big background, you can just put the background on and pop those in there, and you'll have a nice background on the display case. I think the jaws here is maybe a little bit too small for this size of case that I have. But, I mean, I guess if you stuck a couple other figures in there, it wouldn't be too small. Still, he looks cool in there. The blue light. So there I just threw a bunch of random figures, put some big ones in the back, 4 NECA figures in the front. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. If you didn't have big figures for the back, I guess you can probably put some steps back there that they could stand on. I think they actually might sell something like that on the website for Boxory. I put a few 6 scales in there, and some of them, like Jinx and Chainsaw Man, fit in there pretty good. Terminator, though, I had to spread his legs apart and bend his knees a little just to get him to fit. He can't stand up straight in there. But there are bigger sizes available that you can get the bigger 6 scales to fit in. Another thing you could do if you have bigger figures, like these are the Hot Toys 6 scale Avatar figures. They fit in there really nice. The size that I got. And the blue light actually kind of works. So yeah, it's cool. If you have one that's rectangular, you can have it horizontal or you can have it vertical, so that's cool. If you get the cube-shaped one, obviously, it's not really going to matter all that much. And I do wish my camera would show this better, because it's super blue and washed out on my camera, but in person it's not like that. I'm having trouble getting it to show how it actually is in person. Hot Toys Xenomorph from Alien Romulus, he looks really cool in there. There's also an extra shelf that they include that you could put on a few different spots. You put it here. I got it in the middle, or you could put it up here. So you could have an extra shelf in there to split things up a little bit. Yeah, I'm wondering though, it might be a little hard to put the figures on this and then put this on without them falling. That could be a little tough. I'd have to try it. Well, I did it first try, so maybe it's not that tough. That's just two NECA Ultimate figures. NECA's 4th scale Predator fits in there very nicely. There's the light on. That's pretty cool. If you take a step back, this really looks like an awesome display. The lighting makes it look a lot less just like a toy. It looks like a piece of art. Also, you could put the lights on any side you wanted. When I was laying on its side, I had it on the top here, but I didn't want to take it off and stick it up there just for the video. But you could do that. So I ended up stopping at Walmart just to see what kind of lights they have. Some electronic section, and I got this one. Never had this one before, but I just want to see what it was like. It's called Monster Smart Lighting. I didn't realize it when I bought it, but you control it with an app on your phone. I thought it was going to come with a controller, but I guess that works with an app. But yeah, it could have multiple colors at one time, or various effects, flashing, slow strobing, that kind of thing. So I just thought it'd be cool to try it. It also has the peel away back, so you can stick it to the acrylic. It was like $15, I think, somewhere around there. It might have been less, I forget. But yeah, I like the effects I can do. You can also do the blue, this one. The one thing nice about this one is you can adjust the blue. So now it's still blue, but it's just a little more subtle. And there's just white. Okay, so this is a pretty nice display case. Thanks to Boxory for sending it to me. I do think there are some pluses and minuses about it. Some of the minuses, I guess, would just be that it's staticky, at least right now. I don't know if that'll last. But that might not be an issue in everybody's house. Just if you have a dog and his hair is everywhere, so it keeps getting on there. But you can wipe it off with a microfiber cloth or something like that. Mine came with the blue light. You can pick the color changing light, I guess, or the warm light. For me, I would just prefer a white light, but that really depends on what you want to display in there. But the actual case looks really nice. The acrylic panels are very see-through. Sometimes it almost looks like it's not even there. It's so see-through, except for when I'm getting like some of the little hairs in there, like I was saying. It is nice that you can have it standing straight up or on its side. It's supposed to be dust-proof. There are the little slots on at the corners where the wire can come out of. So a tiny bit of dust might be able to get in there, but still, looks like it would be mostly dust-proof. It's not too hard to put together. It can be a little tricky at first until you realize exactly how it works, and then it's pretty easy. Snapping it together is not too hard. Sometimes it seems like it's getting a little stuck, but all of a sudden it just snaps right into place. Taking the door off the front can sometimes be a little tricky, especially probably with this one because it's extra wide. It's probably not as difficult with the smaller ones, because sometimes it can be a little hard to get it to pop back in position. So if your figure's not standing very sturdy, there's a chance you might fall over while you're trying to do that. But I only had that happen once. But it is a really nice looking display case, and it's cool you can put the lights in there. Just the way the frame's made, it just really makes the figure stand out as like a piece of artwork or something, like I was saying before. It just makes the figure look like a big deal, if that makes sense. One plus about this thing is it's very light, because I've used a fish tank before to put this 6 scale figure with these large wings into it, and that thing was heavy. It was sitting up on top of my display cases, and I was afraid it was going to be so heavy that it would cause them to break, so I ended up taking that off of there. But this is much lighter. Now I think her wings are a little too big to fit inside of this. The point I'm trying to make is this is just a lot lighter than real glass, so that's definitely a plus for this. So it is available in other sizes, smaller than this, or even there's some even bigger than this. So you'd have to measure it and figure out what you would want to put in it before you bought one, I guess. There's also different colors of the plastic frame. I picked black, but there's also other colors you can choose from if you don't want the black. So that's pretty cool, you can choose that too. And I do like that the back panel has little holes in it, so you can put the tabs in to hold up a background picture if you have one. As I said earlier, when you're putting it together, it can feel a little flimsy, but once you get all sides snapped together and put on, it instantly becomes pretty sturdy. But now I gotta find a place to put it. I think I might make a new shelf, put a new shelf up on the wall to put this on, and then I'll have to figure out who I want to put in there. Might end up being the 2 Hot Toys Avatar figures, because they look pretty cool in there, or maybe some 4 scale figures, or I don't know, maybe even some NECA figures. I don't know. I'm gonna have to decide. I got too many things that need put somewhere, so I gotta figure out who I want in there. Yeah, this is a cool case. I'll put links in the description of the video so you can go check them out yourself. There's also a promo code that you can use. Use the promo code Mr. Evilcheese, and that could get you 15% off if you want to do that. Well, this is Mr. Evilcheese. Thanks for watching and goodbye.